Okay, welcome into, this is our last video daily football fix that we're going to do. We will have some more videos coming up with our top 30 SEC football players.
And we'll have different shirts on in that one.
Hopefully.
I think.
Yeah, hopefully. You never know. We might bring the same one. I did have to look at our last one to make sure I didn't wear the same shirt. Yeah, I didn't want people to be freaked out, think we did them all one day. Like, remember the old Match Game show? And they'd have those changes of clothes, so they have to go in between. They always shoot them all in one day, but that's kind of where we are. But we're not quite the budget of the Match Game.
No.
No.
Is Gene Rayburn still alive?
I don't know. I meant to Google him the other day and see if he was.
I'm going to do it when we're done with this.
I'm going to go with no on that. Yes, no way, or maybe I'm going no.
I'm going no.
Let's think who's still alive. Is Richard Dawson's got to be dead, right? Charles Nelson Riley?
Gone.
Brett Summers?
I would assume
Hello,
gone.
Gene.
I would assume gone.
Yeah, I went to check on
Who else?
Well, they had the rotating group. Bert Convey was always on.
He's gone.
Yeah,
he's been gone a long time.
All right, enough of that. Let's talk about who's here. I think almost all these guys are here. But we're going to do this. Florida has done a thing during the summer where they've talked about Gator greats in every position. We're going to tell you our favorite. It's partly our favorite, the guy we thought was the best at every position. And we're going to start with quarterback.
But we won't duplicate.
We won't duplicate.
Yeah.
No. We're going to start with quarterback, but it's quarterback who doesn't have a statue. It's too easy to argue whether Spurrier, Werfel, Tebow. Let's go quarterback who doesn't have a statue.
Me first?
Yes, you.
John Reeves, Pat. He's the purest passer in Florida football history. He got screwed with the Dickey change of coaching where they put him in an offense he didn't want to be in. Alvarez hurt. But as far as pure passing, that 69 year was unbelievable. It
was incredible, and
it was fun watching him throw the football.
Don't forget, also broke the record for total yardage in a career.
We'll forget those 9 interceptions against Auburn.
That didn't happen.
No,
didn't happen. Mine is I go back a little, not quite as far, but to me, Rex Grossman. I would make an argument Rex Grossman was as good as the 3 guys who have statues.
He was pretty pure too. I agree.
And don't forget, if Rex Grossman didn't get screwed out of the Heisman, he'd have a statue up there.
He really should have won that one.
He should have won it. No one, but because they lost by 2 points because the defense let him down against Tennessee, and he doesn't get to move on. He doesn't win it. Eric Crouch wins it, who was completed like 6 passes all year. And no, I think Rex Grossman is in the argument for the best quarterback to ever play here.
And you look what he did that 2001 year, Pat.
That was unbelievable.
Man, he was
unbelievable.
Like a pro out there.
And fun guy to interview, too.
Yeah, great guy.
Kind of
Sexy Rexy, they called him.
Sexy Rexy? Well, your wife called him that, but that's a whole other story. All right, let's go to the defensive line. I don't know why I have it in this order, but okay, defensive line. And I'm going to go a guy you maybe wouldn't think to put in there, but I've always had a soft spot for defensive tackles because defensive tackles have to disrupt, they have to protect the linebackers, and yeah, you're always rushing. That's fun.
It's a demanding job.
Defensive tackles, and the best I saw here was Ellis Johnson, of course, the MVP of a SEC championship game, and I think he was that one year he was ABC's Player of the Year.
Yeah, he was a great tackle.
A great football player.
Yeah, and he was an athletic guy that could move. He was quick. He made all kinds of plays, Pat. He was fun to watch.
And now is a pilot.
Yeah, and he had a fear of flying when he was here. Remember, he would drive on the equipment.
Well, he had to get off the plane when they were coming back from Knoxville because I remember Batesy telling me that he said when they had real bad problems come back after Tennessee had blown them out, and he said the headline of the papers would say Gators get killed twice.
Remember Spurrier when the oxygen mask came out? He was eating shrimp.
Yeah, he'd take the oxygen mask off.
Put a shrimp in. He wasn't worried. He knew he was going to make it.
Not my time.
Yeah, not my time.
All right, who's your defensive lineman, Robbie?
I'm going to go with Alex Brown, Pat. He was a guy that was really fun to watch, and he was a sack machine that one year. And that Tennessee game was one of the best performances I've ever seen from a defensive player here. Yeah,
he was really good in that game and against Georgia as well that year. I was as good a year as we've seen. Linebacker. There's one guy on the Ring of Honor, and I think he's your choice.
Yeah, Wilbur Marshall. I mean, Pat, he was the best defensive player in school history, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to argue that. And you look back at that USC game, and was it 81? 82. I mean, it was unbelievable, that game he played. And they put him on the national stage or spotlight, and he played great the rest of the way. Had a great pro career. Just an unbelievable player.
Yeah, the guy I went with was the guy who wasn't always at linebacker, and that's Javon Curse, because Javon Curse, to me, changed the position. And Florida, with Bobby Stoops as his coach, basically they could do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
They could rush him. A lot of times, all Javon would do is get in his stance and just come up and stand there. Knowing
his wingspan.
Yeah, he had taken away that part of the field. Nobody could throw the ball.
He was Florida's first freak, Pat.
Yeah, he was.
He was the original freak.
And as good an athlete, I actually lived in Wind Meadows, right down a couple of condos down from him. Condos, I call it. It was apartments. And, you know, we got to know each other. And I always had a lot of respect for him. And, of course, a member of the 1996.
He had one of the deepest voices ever.
Champs. Yeah, he did. He did. Now we go to defensive backs, and we're going to take the safeties and corners and put them all into one. Group one. And I'm going to go with Lito Shepherd. You know, he was as good as they got to me. I just love watching him play. The play that changed the Georgia game.
I remember that one well.
Is the one that always stands out to me. But he made a lot of big plays for Florida. It's DBU. You got a lot to choose from.
Yeah, and Pat, it's like he was born to play the position. He was so natural playing it that it just.
Well, that's the great part about that play is it wasn't even his guy.
Yeah, he came and made a huge play.
And then made an unbelievable run back.
My DB is Reggie Nelson, Pat, and the guy, he would cover so much ground. It was incredible. You'd think, oh, there's a guy wide open. That Tennessee game early in the game. Oh, they throw a bomb. You go, oh, that's going to be a touchdown.
We're watching it, and we're like, nobody covered that guy.
And then a blur comes through, picked.
Yeah, unbelievable.
So,
you could throw guys like Keywan in there, and
there are plenty of them. DBU,
my buddy Steve Tannen, who was a great one back in the old days.
Keywan Ratliff, throw him in there.
Certainly. Joe Hayden, Tease and Quincy. I mean, there have been a lot of good ones. So there's no question there's been a lot of them.
Hargraves, you can go on and on, really.
The H3.
Yeah.
My offensive lineman's a guy who's always been dear to my heart because he's as good as I ever saw, and that's Lomas Brown. Lomas Brown is a good example of why Florida's Ring of Honor doesn't work.
Oh, absolutely.
And that he's got to get into the Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame, to get into the Ring of Honor. That shouldn't be a criteria.
No.
And to be honest with you, there are guys in there. Well, anyway, I don't want to.
Best offensive lineman in school history, not even close.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. And if you there was some issues there when he was here. He was part of that team that got in trouble. He sold his tickets for a little too much money.
Yeah.
And I get that, but to me, he's as good as they ever had here.
Yeah, he was great. And my Pat is Marquise Pouncey. To come in as a true freshman, start at center, and do the things he did is phenomenal. And then he
started at center for a team that had the Heisman winner.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and I mean he plays against LSU, a guy I can't remember who he lined up against, but he dominated a guy that was like an All-American.
Yeah,
as a true freshman. So this guy was a phenomenal player. You know, had a great career here and a dominant player.
Still going in the NFL. Yeah. Certainly a great one. All right, from offensive line, let's guess where we go next.
Let me guess. Wide receiver?
Wide receiver. We're going to wide receiver. Who's your wide receiver? I don't know.
Mine?
I'm trying to mix it up.
Okay. I'm going Percy Harvin, Pat. To me, the most explosive offensive player in school history. Whenever he touched the ball, you thought he could go.
Well,
and he was a two-time All-American.
What people don't realize, because when people think of Percy, they think of all the running plays.
Yeah, they do.
They don't realize how good a receiver he was. I remember the catch he made, and they go to Kentucky in 07, and Kentucky's got Woodson, and I mean that
was a really good Kentucky team. Yeah,
I think Florida won 40. I want to say 47-35 or something like that. And there was a play late in the game when Florida needed a big play, and Tebow just threw it up for him.
I remember that play. I remember.
Diving catch. I mean, he was a really good receiver and a tremendous runner. With the ball, made people miss. He was really good. But mine is one of my best buddies, and I've got to put him in there, and that's Carlos Alvarez.
I love that call.
Carlos Alvarez was my first hero.
Yeah,
he really was. I mean, I love that guy, and actually came to my house one time when he was giving a speech, and I threw him the football.
That's unbelievable.
I can still remember that.
But that sophomore year he had, Pat, was just phenomenal.
It's unbelievable. Think about it. Nobody's broken that mark.
No.
I mean, Chad Jackson tied it with more games.
Yeah.
Carlos Alvarez, 88 catches that year. And to me, not only did he have the Houston catch that everybody remembers running, but the catch he made against Florida State that was on the cover Sports. Not the cover, but it was in this Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Unbelievable that he made that catch. If his knees hadn't gone bad, it would have been interesting to see what kind of NFL career he would have.
Yeah, if he had not hurt his knee, imagine what think about what he could have done.
All right, we go to tight end, and I'm going to start out. I'm sorry, Aaron Hernandez is the best tight end to ever play here.
Okay, well, he's not around anymore.
No, and there were issues, obviously, and there were issues when he was here.
But you're just talking about what he did on the field.
On the field, he was unbelievable.
He was. One of the best playmakers Florida's ever had on offense, when you think about it. The way they used him, the screen passes.
Broke a lot of tackles. Yeah. Really, I mean, people forget how nifty he was.
Yeah, he was a huge matchup problem for defenses. They couldn't cover.
Huge matchup problem for some other people, too.
Yeah, unfortunately.
That's a whole other story.
Okay, Pat, I'm going to go with Ben Troop, who was in the Spur year, and he was like a big wide receiver playing tight end. He could block, but he also was like a guy you could send deep down the middle. He's going to make plays. He had a great.
You know what I wish he had done? I wish he had hurdled somebody once in a while.
Yeah, he was great at that too.
Golly,
what an athlete, though, you know.
Yeah, it almost got to be a joke. I mean, why would anybody go low on him?
I know.
He hurdled like 15 guys.
What a great target for a quarterback to have.
All right, running back. To me, it's Emmitt Smith, and I got into a debate with a guy this week about Emmitt deserves a statue, and I said no, I don't go based on what he did in the NFL, but he still was the best running back to player. But he is not the all-time rushing leader.
No, he only played 3 years.
20 and 14 in the games he played. Now he carried the load. He was unbelievable. I'll never forget the Alabama game as long as I live, when he was a freshman. Tremendous player. Doesn't deserve a statue, but I think the best running back they've had.
Mine, Pat, is Fred Taylor. He had the best combination of size, speed, and moves of any running back I think they've ever had here. I mean, he was a guy
that's true.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the tape of his cutbacks and his speed. He was unbelievable.
Emmitt, though, was only as fast as he needed to be.
Yeah.
That was the thing. If you tied him in the 40,
you couldn't catch him. Yeah.
But if you tried to catch him, forget it. He was going to get past you.
But nobody caught Fred Taylor either.
All right, quickly, we got 2 more, the place kicker and punter. My place kicker, and I've been thinking about this a long time, is Caleb Sturgis. And the reason is, look, Eddie Pinedo had unbelievable stats. I still think he should have won the Rose Award, but he never had a big kick.
Yeah, no.
He never had a kick where the game's on the line. And Sturgis did. He remember the kick against Arkansas to win that game. He had a lot of big kicks in his career.
He definitely did.
So I went with Caleb. And he's a St. Augustine guy.
Yeah, that's a good thing in his favor, too. But I'm going with Judd Davis, Pat, All-American place kicker. You can't go wrong with that.
Rosa winner.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, he was a guy that was reliable, had great range, and just a great gator.
You just want him to retweet you. That's the only reason.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then punter, I'm going to go with Ray Criswell. That's going back a ways, but man, he was
early
incredible.
80s. Yeah, he was.
I think still the strongest leg of anybody.
Yeah, I mean, talk about flipping field position, Pat. He would do it all the time.
Which they believed in.
Yeah. Mine is Chaz Henry, Pat, All-American punter. He averaged 45.1 yards a punt his senior year, and not much in the return game against him either, because he had good hang time. He didn't outkick his coverage, and just a powerful leg and a game changer with the field, flipping the field.
And he didn't get tired from having to kick the extra field goals.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No.
I wonder how Todd Grantham feels about that pick of yours, Robbie.
I don't know.
Well, we'll get into that.
We'll talk about that later on.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do our finale daily football fix. Video-wise. So, again, it's been
fun.
Yeah, it's been fun, and we're going to run these right through the start of SEC Media Days in Atlanta. It's going to be weird, a little different.
I know. We got so much into the routine. Now it's going to be totally.
But I think it's going to be kind of exciting. We'll see.
The Atlanta traffic will be exciting. I know that.
Well, park the car and then you'll leave on Friday. That's the way to do it. All right, it's going to do it, and we appreciate all you guys for watching. We appreciate Brad for shooting all these. He's done a great job, Brad McClenny. And we'll be back. The next video we do will be the top 30 players in SEC right now going into this year. Until then, Pat Dooley, Robbie Andreu, the Gainesville Sun saying so long from the Sunshine State.